Greetings and welcome to Capacity TV. Today we have with us two executives from Smart CIC Global Services. We have Catherine Hemingray, who is Global Account Director at the company, and Ljubica Draskic, sorry, Ljubica, who's Head of Sales and Development at the company. So we're going to talk to both of them over the next 10-15 minutes about what Smart CIC does and what the issues are around the industry. So Ljubica first, what's your niche market for connectivity? Bearing in mind that you're an aggregator, and explain to our viewers what an aggregator is as well.
Well, let's start with what an aggregator is. An aggregator is someone who is combining all the services that we can put together for the customer end to end, including full connectivity, layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, like 4G, 5G, everything that we can do, any type of connectivity, plus cabling, installations, smart services, anything that the customer would need and want, end to end. That's what we consider as an aggregator, and being like, that's what we are. What is our niche market for connectivity? Like, yes, because we are an aggregator, we don't own our own network, yet we are the license operator in France, so we can provide any type of connectivity in France. Plus, we are very strong with all the difficult markets like LATAM, CIS countries, again, not to compete with the local carriers that exist, but to provide a full service end-to-end across the countries, across the multiple countries or even continents.
Right. So you can put together connections from other companies and build them into a network for your customers.
Exactly. So, for example, if I use the example, we can put together Frankfurt to Istanbul, Sydney to Chicago on the low latency level. So, like, basically, this is the niche we are in. We can put the low latency circuits that currently the industry very much needs, whether they're financial services, whether they're sport industry, gaming industry. This is like what we can serve. But we are not, as I said, like before, we will not compete with, for example, EU Networks, who has a low latency platform, but we will partner with them, use their network and other carriers' network to combine end-to-end service.
Okay, so you can build a custom network for your customers.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the boutique market. This is the niche market that we can do. And as I said, in a very smart way, because not only that we will find the best low latency service, we will provide the proper measurements, we will provide the proper contract. The contract will be based either out of France or UK. So like if there is a customer or the provider that is based in Turkey or Turkmenistan or Kazakhstan, we will resolve the issue of our customer not having to sign the local contract, but they can sign the contract with us.
You have the relationships in these,
We eliminate the risk.
Right, okay. So low latency is something you've mentioned several times. Is that something that is a particular USP of yours? I mean, I thought a lot of companies promise low latency, but is that something you specialize in?
Yes, we do specialize based on my past experience in the industry, which is unfortunately very long, but also not only that, as I said, like, yes, everyone says that they have it, but then when you dig in, you will discover that they don't, and they don't want to commit. We will commit. We will do the smart way. We will measure it. We will commit to the service. So we will do everything up front to secure that we can do it.
Right. Okay. So what do you do that's different from, and I won't name names, but there are lots of other companies in the industry. I mean, some of the people with fiber. What do you do that makes you different and, I guess, better in your view than them?
Because people with fiber normally, like, yes, they can have it throughout the countries. But if you look at the carriers, most of the big carriers, they also do have mobile services. So they not necessarily have the shortest route. As I said, like, for example, EU Networks, they have the special low latency platform, but they have certain conditions how you can use it. We don't have specific conditions, or at least not yet, like because we are developing on this market. And as I said, we provide end-to-end service, including measurements, including field services, including everything that, as I said, the customer needs. And we will find the smallest operator that might exist in a certain country, which will have a straight route rather than going through different countries, different areas.
So you mean an operator that maybe the average enterprise or even another operator in another country probably doesn't know about it. You've got that deep knowledge in the market. Yeah,
exactly.
Good. Okay, but you don't just exist in the fiber market. Catherine, your speciality is 4G, I think. What do you do in this field?
Well, 4G is an evolving market for us. It's particularly pertinent now with post-pandemic, with people wanting to be connected and being connected very quickly, and to look at mobility, moving from one place to another, which maybe normally static networks can't really facilitate in the time frames that a lot of businesses and enterprises are looking to do, along with the growth of networks and the growth of requirements globally, where we can't get pipes in the ground quick enough in order to link everybody together. So 4G really is a very much up and coming solution as it expands and the capabilities are explored. And it's a great area of our expertise.
So are you talking about fixed wireless there, or are you talking about sort of peripatetic, movable terminals that you can use wherever you need them from week to week or month to month?
Yeah, both really. I mean, what we specialize really is in 4G data technology. Right. We're agnostic with regards to the hardware that we use, but we use enterprise grade hardware. For example, we provide rapid services for carriers whereby they've had an outage and they need services re-established in a very short period of time. So we send out pre-configured kits with technicians on site and re-establish connectivity for those enterprise or wholesale clients that need that immediately, to working with retail clients who've looked at their availability to go into concessions, for example, where they're only going to be there for 6 months. They're looking for a very concise and specific product, whereby we provide them with a router with the SIM card in, and we go and install it, and it's ideal for them. And if that store shuts, then they can move it to the next store. Up to larger, huge environments where you're looking at industrial units where they have maybe over 1,000 users who all need connectivity. They've got their fixed connectivity there, but they do need good redundant connectivity. So we work with our clients to provide the back failover for them using the 4G connectivity, depending on the size of equipment they need. On top of that, there is all the aspects about making sure they've got the right that we're working with them in the knowledge of the RF environment they're working with. So we've got the right antennas and the right equipment. So although it sounds very, very small at the beginning, it is actually quite a large scope. And as Ljubica eloquently said earlier, it's about providing bespoke packages for clients that fit their requirements.
Right, I see. So it's very much, it can be for some short-term uses, some long-term uses. I mean, how do you make sure you've got the right equipment to presumably fly in? Do you have a sort of global SIM or something like that? Or do you have deals with companies everywhere?
No, we have, we have both really. We have a global SIM that we can use. We have relationships with over 700 carriers globally. We have inter-country SIM cards as well, if that specific requirement is needed. So it allows us to have that agility and flexibility that's required to meet the client's requirements. On top of that, what was interesting and what you asked was that in order to ensure that we're installing the right equipment and getting the coverage and the service that the client requires, we have developed our own 4G surveys. So we do go to sites, we do survey sites, we've got our own methodology. We will look at the RF environment, we'll look at the coverage, we'll look at where the base stations are, a lot of desktop surveys, but also on-site surveys. So when we go back to our clients, and we can go with a proposition about how we can deliver that service, it's a costed proposal, but it's based on fact. And we're doing that at the moment in 23 countries for a large automobile producer, which in some very challenging areas, as you can imagine, if you're building cars, then obviously that those big facilities aren't going to be in the center of towns. They're going to be in further green sites, which does create its own complications. But the fact that we create this survey allows us to be very bespoke about the solution that they require.
That's fascinating. So Ljubica, do you then come along with the fiber, or hoping that the fiber will follow later on for one of these big new clients? That and do you have a sort of map of where all the fiber providers are in a particular area?
In my head?
Well, in your head or on a computer might be. Yeah.
Well, I have been, like, for many years, I have been working on a connectivity side and the fiber side. Yeah. So my specialty is like yes, Eastern Europe, CIS region, Africa, and in the last years Asia as well. So now we are expanding to Latin America, where we are meeting the providers, and it was one of your ITW panel discussions, like development of Latin America. It is booming as well.
Great, good to hear. And yes, the ITW conference, we're recording this just as ITW is finishing, but those all those panels and debates will be available throughout September and maybe a bit later, I'm not sure, but thank you. So Catherine Hemingray and Ljubica Draskic, sorry, I'm very sorry, Ljubica. Thank you very much for telling me about Smart CIC. I've enjoyed talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you.